you whiskey loving legends, to another episode of Was It Worth a Whiskey? And today we're going to look at which Glenfiddich is the best. And the age old question, is older actually better? Now this came about because a while back I bought a bottle of Glenfiddich 18-year-old and I was mortally disappointed in it for the price that I paid. Not because it was a bad whiskey, it was drinkable, but the price I paid I expected a lot more. So I thought we would do a side-by-side comparison of the core range, the 12, the 15-year-old and the 18-year-old. Let's start with 18-year-old. The colour doesn't really matter in any of these because they're all artificial colouring is added and they're all 40%. So on the nose we've got raisins, stewed fruits, milk chocolate. It's okay nose, it's not bad, but it's not very complex. On the palate, you know, for an 18-year-old, it's pretty bloody rough. We got a bit of ginger, dry sherry, and when it first hits your mouth, you think, oh, it could be good, and then it just goes bang, and it just disappears, and all you taste really is the roughness of it. Now the finish, then you get this short to medium finish that's tart. You get a little bit of salted toffee, some oak, and that's about it. And it's over already. It's gone for me already. So for £60 or 120 Australian dollars, I expect a lot better. But for a score, I'm going to give it an 83 for the nose, an 82 for the palate, and an 80 for the finish, giving it a total score of 82 points. And on a was it worth it score, for that price, for that £60, 120 Australian dollars, I'm going to give it a thumbs down, 4 out of 10. I think we can do better. So let's move on to the 15-year-old. Now the 15-year-old is uses the Solara method, and they call it the Solara vat, which is basically a way they used to produce Spanish sherry by adding to the vat and drawing from the same vat. So you get a very consistent whiskey. So the nose straight away is so much better for me than the 18. I've got raisins, orange or Jaffa orange, that chalk orange, nectarines, candied cherries, and this beautiful chopped fudgy flavour. So much superior than the 18-year-old. The palate is bang, hits your mouth, you get this creamy vanilla, cherry oak, maybe a bit of like a slight Dr. Pepper or cherry cola flavour. It's really quite a beautiful mouth hit. Now the finish isn't a long finish, it's a medium finish, and I'm getting vanilla, honey, some candied pecan nuts, and then following through with some floral notes. So it's really quite a nice whiskey. I'm going to give it 88 points for the nose, I'm going to give it 87 points for the palate, and I'm going to give it 86 points for the finish, giving a grand total of 87 points. Now £45 or 85 Australian dollars, to me that's a thumbs up. So I'm going to give it a strong 7 out of 10, and it'll be definitely one that I had on the shelf. That's quite good. So I might just cleanse my palate with a bit of water first before I hit the 12-year-old. So the 12-year-old obviously is a lot cheaper than others. Now we're talking £30, 65 Australian dollars. So it's the lowest of their core range. So the nose is very light. It's very subtle. We got subtle raisins, subtle honey or light honey or honey nectar, and then very subtle fruits. There's no punch in your face flavours in the nose. The palate, it's very smooth. It's really an easy one to drink. There's nothing bad about it. Once again, just like the nose, it's very light. We've got light florals, light spices, light honey, exceptionally smooth. On the finish, we've got a sweet. It's a sweet to dry finish, and quite short to medium. Slight oakiness, honeysuckles, and raisins. So for the price, an excellent little whiskey. So I'll give it 83 points for the nose, 80 points for the palate, and 82 points for the finish. I'll give it an 81 total score. Now at £30 or 65 Australian dollars, to me that's a thumbs up. 6 out of 10 I'm going to give it. And that's pretty much all I can say. So it's quite obvious to me that, and I think we know at times, that sometimes these companies like Glenfiddich, Macallan's, etc., they profit on putting a year release that actually might be as good as some of the others. But because they've got the name and we want to go out and we think that an 18-year-old must be better than a 12-year-old, it must be better than a 15-year-old, we purchase the 18-year-old. So in this case, now you've watched this, maybe you won't. Maybe you will, maybe you like the 18-year-old. But if I had my choice, I'd be going the 15-year-old Solera. And that's what I'll be buying next. So cheers and good on ya.